Hello and welcome everyone to Galactic Gumbo episode 15. This is our topic show, but today we're going to be doing a top 16 of 2016 of our toys and action figures that we picked up. Most of these are going to be figures that came out in 2016, but some of us say that they didn't buy very many toys in 2016 so that they could have 16 figures. They're going to bring in some that they had bought, but they are from previous years, which we're going to let that pass. Dakota. So we're going to go from 16 to 1. We're all going to go around and do number 16 on our list, and then we'll all go around and do number 15 on our list. I don't know how you guys selected your list. I'm sure we're all going to have different lists. But me personally, it was one of those things where you have to have it in hand. So even some stuff that came out in 2016, you bought it, but it hasn't got here yet. Obviously, we want to show those things off to you so you can see what we were talking about. We're going to explain kind of like why we picked them, why they made the list. I know personally me, if it was between two figures and one had better paint apps and quality, but the other one was like, I like the character more and rather have this, that's usually, I went character over quality. So I don't know if y'all did the same thing, but anyways, we'll go ahead and, before we start off, Cybercast, we just aired an episode. It's going to be in video form shortly. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I think that you guys will enjoy it. I think there was a few malls in there. But let's go ahead and start off with where everyone can find you. Mike, why don't you go ahead and start off and tell them about G.I. Joe podcast as well.
All right, Mike, you can find me on Twitter as BotConFan1978 and YouTube as Autobot City Toys with a Z. Next Saturday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, the all-new Just Another G.I. Joe podcast will air with me and Fred, where we'll be talking about the newest update for Joe Con and all G.I. Joe related items.
All right, Chris?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all about Prime.
All right, Dakota?
You can find me everywhere at PrimalSabbath.
Dalton?
Yay!
Me everywhere at Daltonian STFs.
All right, and Rick?
And you can find me on Twitter as Shatrdglassjazz.
All right, and you can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages, the G1 Hextron. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Mike, what's your number 16?
Number 16, and I'll be up front. Most of mine's going to be Transformers because that's all I really collect a lot of. But number 16 is the Club Blue Streak. Voila.
Solid choice.
Solid. You get the whole look around and we'll get the back side. Yeah, that's my number 16. You know, I enjoy the club stuff. Of course, this is probably something that Hasbro had no intentions in doing. So, but he, you know, the rest of the stuff's pretty solid stuff. So I mean, it was hard to put all the club stuff in a certain area, but that's where I was at on that one.
All right, next up, Chris.
I'm doing my best, like set much here because I'm British, I'm lazy. But yeah, I'm going for like Fort Max at Dakota one, just because obviously, and got like the upgrade guns and stuff. But I got this just because it kind of goes along with one of the others in my list, with kind of giving away, obviously. But no, it's just one thing is saying like being in the Fort Max club, but again, to what goes next on the list is being in there twice. So apples.
All right.
You know, Fort Max fought for the number 16 spot.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it was hard like not having him in the lineup because it is a really awesome toy.
Yeah.
All right, next. Y'all can just go after the other one that's done. That way I don't have to keep on calling your name. You're next in line. It goes Mike, Chris, Dakota, Dalton, Rick, then me, and then we start over.
Okay. Let me. All right. So we can. All right. So my number 16 is going to be this year's Magna Boss. While I got all these, like the retail stuff in 16, we also got these two guys in 16. So it was really cool getting a Magna Boss, and that's why he made it to 16.
All right. You're next, Dalton.
To say Kickback is my number 16, and not with the character. It's just all 3 Insecticons. So 16.
Can we see Cake Mac? Yeah. All right. Yeah, need him.
So there's that.
Did you just drop it?
No.
He didn't break one of his top
He-
16 like you just did.
No.
Shut up, man.
All right, Rick, you're next.
Yep. Number 16 is the Filmation He-Man. And I really thought that the Filmation line this year was just top notch. I've been into the Matty stuff since the beginning, but I think this year is probably some of the Four Horsemen's best stuff. I love that they're doing the Filmation stuff.
Oh, I agree. All right, so 16 for me. I'm just gonna go with the Star Wars 6-inch Blackline series, Scarif Stormtrooper Squad Leader. I just love this design, and I love how he kind of looks like the biker scout, or at least a little bit of the armor and the helmet does, and I like the different different paint stuff on him. So I like him more than the Walmart exclusive. But I've got another one that made my list, but it's a little bit further down. All right, we're gonna go on to 15.
All right. Back to me. 15 would be Club Rook. He was.
What?
Huh? Club Rook.
That's definitely not Rook.
Oh, shit. Well,
Please don't.
it's
Please
the Rook
don't.
body. It's the Rook body. Well, that's
That's
the one
true.
I went with. But it was really low on.
Impactor.
Yeah, Impactor. It's Rook, but it's Rook mode. Y'all be quiet. Leave me alone, damn it. I'm distraught on my G.I. Joe figure being broke. But anyways, the club did a real good job on it, except the head, the eyes wasn't all that great. I mean, the body choice for it, I thought was pretty good. I like it. I mean, can't go wrong with it, but you could if you wanted to, I guess. Okay, next.
Right.
Just so I can get it in the way. I guess it's the heaviest ones. I'm going for the Granddaddy format.
They sit there and laugh like small children.
My children. But yeah, I like to double dip, giggity. But yeah, the reason why I went for this is purely because last year was the first time I ever went to America, and I had the privilege of going with these guys, and I just remember seeing it in there. I was like, oh man, should I pick it up? Should I pick it up? And I picked it up, and I was just like, I felt like I abducted a child, so it was great. I was just walking around with a great big box, and everyone was looking at me like, oh my god, he's got Fort Max. I was like, yeah.
And then
So
he
it was
panicked
awesome.
about getting it shipped to him.
Yeah, because he put it in his suitcase.
I
The
had to
TSA had a
ship.
field day.
Yeah, I had to ship my clothes back in a box, and I had to bring him on the plane with me in a suitcase because I'm not paying $500 to ship it home. So I was like,
Wow.
yeah, you're coming on the plane with me. So that's the story.
All right. Do we get a
All right, number
space? No.
number 16 for me, or number 15, excuse me, for me. It's going to be Club Ramjet. I really like the character choice for the freebie this year, and beyond a couple of paint scuffs that have been clearly fixed on mine. I just I'd gotten the combiner, the Nexus Prime or whatever,
Yeah.
but I'd never picked up the Armada Ramjet. So whenever they announced they were coming out with this, I thought it was perfect. I think he scales very good with all of them. So on top of that, and just the well done head job, the well done job on the head sculpt. God damn it. Anyways, that's it. That's number 15. Screw you guys.
As for me, my number 15 has to go to Leader Class Blaster.
Oh.
Just it's not purely for anything wrong with it. It's just not my absolute favorite. good nonetheless.
That's why he's 15.
Yeah.
All right. So you might hear me say a few times tonight, oh, the sculpt was amazing. I think this figure came kind of late in the game, and I've got maybe 5 or 6 different lines that you're going to see, maybe 6 or 7. But this figure came out late. It is the best sculpt this year, in my personal opinion, if you're talking about from screen to toy. And it is the Mumra figure from the Thundercats line that Matty Collector went out with.
You know, so far we've got the same ones on our list. We just have them in different picking orders, I believe, so far, Rick.
You got good taste.
Yeah, 15 for me. Not necessarily my favorite character. You know, she's probably a lot of people's favorite characters, but not my favorite character, Harley Quinn from the DC Icon series. But I thought it was a really great representation of seeing from what we saw in Batman the Animated Series and bringing her on to keep that look, not going like the Arkham Knight or you know, Arkham games, or going the Suicide Squad, but keeping that what looked like in the cartoon, the original, and making it look like it belonged in, you know, modern day. I thought was an excellent job, so that's why I picked her, even though I like some characters that I got, you know, other than her. Before we go to Mike's next one, I'm going to read some of yours off here. Let's see. Night of Ren, he said top 5. Walgreens Punisher, 4 Marvel Legends Rogue, Black Series Jango Fett, Walmart exclusive Scarif Stormtrooper, and Black Series K2SO is his number 1. Number 16, Bill said is NECA Dog Alien. Jen said top 5. Is number 5 Black Series Tank Trooper, Masterpiece Inferno. 3 Mini Champs. I don't even know what those are. And then Williams FW26, 2 Hot Toys Ray, and 1 Looks Smart, number 27 Ferrari 126 CK. And then Bill said number 15 for him is Ironhide. So, all right, so got to go to number 14.
14. All right, number 14 would be the only Takara Titans Return I have, which is a Blur. I thought this one, Blur, is just, I mean, I have the Hasbro one, but this one here is just, I mean,
So it again? I didn't have it locked on you. I'm sorry.
The Blur from Titans Return, Takara. I mean, the paint apps on this is just phenomenal. I mean, I just couldn't believe that we could see such a good paint apps on a toy, you know, or you know, a Transformer nonetheless. But Takara did a real good job of the paint apps on him, and I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, mine is.
If I see one more Fort Max, so help me God.
It's the Hasbro Titans Returns Fort Max.
Okay, I'll put it back to it now. I wouldn't know where I'd put it if I had another one. Mine is kind of, well, it's basically the same as Dakota's, is this. And the only reason I picked him is because it's not so much I have that much attachments to it, because, I mean, I struggle to remember his name, and his name is
Ramjet.
Ramjet, that's him, yeah, that's what I was going to say, that's testing you, see. The reason why I went for him is because it's like the very first free figure that I ever got. So I thought, why not? And because like the club was going out and whatnot, and giving some support, so that's hence why I ordered like 2 kits of the 5.0. But I was like, I want my freebie, and I had my freebie, and he will be my free.
Nice, and that old red, white, and blue color scheme too, huh?
I mean, that did have some part in it, I'm not going to lie.
All right, my number 14 is the 2008 Shatterglass Prime.
Ooh.
Just and honestly, it's just because of the colors, and I thought I'd never find that box set for like under $2,000 ever again.
Is that legit or KO?
Oh, that's legit. That is 100%
Yeah,
authentic.
It's a great figure.
But yeah, just all the paint apps that are on him, the dry brushing for the silver on there, the weathering on the bumper and truck mode, the tampograph of the crack up there, just all the weathering, or all around on him. Just a very, very solid figure. And then you got that you probably can't see. Where there it is. The till all are gone. So he definitely, since I got him at right at the last minute in 2016, he definitely made the cut for me.
Let's see. As for me, I'm going to have to say the subscription service 4.0, mostly due to the Diaclone homage. I mean, it looks really good. I would have thought. So, really happy to have that.
All right. Number 14. This figure, they never made this character when I was I think I was 11 when it came out. The G.I. Joe animated movie. But Fun Pub did her this year. I don't know if you guys can see her now. It's Pythona.
Pythona, nice.
And this, Mike hooked me up with this, and not only did she turn out looking phenomenal, it's the only figure that I haven't opened that's in my top 16. I think I'm going to get a second one to open. She got me back into Joe this year, Mike and Pythona and Fun Pub. So this one actually means something too, on top of just being really cool.
Got you back into the Joes, man. You guys gotta keep the line alive, man.
Yep.
Gotta make sure that they keep on pumping out 5 figures every year. All right, so we're on to 14. Grab this big boy right here. Oh,
Boy, y'all are lowballing him, man. I don't get it.
Oh, yeah. So Transformer fans, they might be mad at me with this list, but Dakota Fort Max, I think it's pretty sweet looking. I like him. So it's a big robot, and I missed out on Metroplex, so that's why he made my list at 14. So, all right, gonna go to 13. Go ahead and kick us off.
All right, 13 is going to be the San Diego Comic-Con crossover set of G.I. Joe Transformers Soundwave, which is strictly, it's a HISS tank. It had the correct decals for a Soundwave. He also comes with the little missiles here for the tourniquet, for Soundwave, and then he came with Zartan. But you can't really go wrong with the crossover sets from San Diego. I'm glad they went with this tank. This is my favorite HISS tank that G.I. Joe has put out, or Hasbro put out. It's a really good, solid tank. So there you go.
All right.
Next on my list, what are we at? 14? 13?
14.
13.
All right, 13.
I can do math. It's my G2 Menasor, just because it's the first G2 I've ever owned, and okay, I'm kind of cheating because that's like botcon stuff in here, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a nice crotch plate. Matrix, why not?
Sparkle crotch.
Well, yeah, I just figured, the most, awesome thing in basically in creation, and you have it on show on your crotch, so why not? But I went for him because, as I said, it's the first, G2 figure I ever had, and actually it was the first of the generations I had. And I guess my last reason is because it's 6 figures in one, so I can cheat, so there you go.
And you didn't have to pay $2,000 for it. Or 20,000. I mean, excuse me, 20,000.
Bill said his 15 I think Bill's 15 was Ironhide, and he also says I would have Fort Max in my list if it wasn't for having to return him for missing an arm. So
I tell everybody that we talked about that on G.I. Joe podcast. Well, that arm being missing is just something else, man. I tell everybody that story.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. For me, number 13.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be the Titans Return Alpha Trion. I really like this, and I mean, I'm going to enjoy his repaint more, but that's a 2017 release. But having a nice nod to the 2007 and 2014 Alpha Trions, and our first mainline retail Alpha Trion. Pretty solid, man. I like the colors, and I've had a lot of fun just kind of messing with them. So,
Have you tried combining him with like other people?
have I tried combining him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people do that.
What combine him with what? Like, how can he combine?
Aerial
I
bots.
have to try and find it, but you can combine him with quite a lot of like the aerial bots, and it's super easy and really secure as well.
Oh, no kidding! Wow,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, so even a better reason for him to make it to the spot.
All right, I've been on the fence about him, so I just keep on passing him by. All right, Dalton.
I'm kind of cheating because I had to customize it, but I'm going to say number 13 is the Titans Return. Just to finally get something that looks more like his original appearance. Not that I hate the IDW version, but just, I don't know, I really like the mold for this guy. It just works.
Yeah, did a nice job on that too.
Thank you. Thanks also to Dakota for the little paint map.
All right, Rick.
Yep. It's like the girl that we've all shared. Fort Max is my 13.
Me, man.
Yeah, and I've got the original. I actually like this guy more than the original. Takara got the, I've got the third party gun on there, but honestly, like the electronics and stuff, I love the electronics in this thing. Definitely my favorite electronic type thing this year too. And the bot mode is so good that I can overlook the stuff that he can't do, like the original. Fantastic toy. I love this guy.
It's just something about like the theme tune as well. Like when you do it, it's like, I suppose. Oh, that's the thing. I didn't think about putting that on. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, you want to
Said, the girl we've all shared. All right, so here we are on 13. This was a 4-pack, but I just grabbed one of the figures. It was something that I didn't think we'd ever going to get, but this was a New York Toy Fair. New York Comic-Con 4-pack exclusive to go with the 4 NECA Turtles that came out years ago and are very expensive now. But these guys, they released the Shredder and 3-foot soldiers. And I only one of those 4-packs made the list because it was the San Diego Comic-Con, the video game series where it was Shredder and the soldiers and the 4 turtles. But out of those 3, this one is the one that I was the happiest probably to get. I think that they look great capturing that comic image.
Looks really good.
Had to have some turtle love in there somewhere because I do love them. So let's see. Bill says 14 for him is the Mafex Dark Knight Rises Batman second version. So, all right. So we're on to number 12.
Well, this one makes me sad because I was very impressed with this toy. But it was my custom figure from Joe Con this year, Bullet Man. As you can see, his damn arm broke off. I'm really pissed off about it. But
When did it break?
Like 5 minutes after the show went off the air, Cybercast, I'm so mad. Stop it, Chris. It's a good figure. It was a great experience putting him together for a G.I. Joe figure. I've done the Transformer custom class quite a bit. I guess
Chris,
You
I want to come across the pond and beat your ass. You'll stop.
I'm laughing at Chris, but also the fact that you keep on referring to him in past tense. He was a great figure, and I had he had so much potential. Like he keeps on referring to him.
He's lame.
Dakota, do your
So
member thing with Cartman. Do your self
What?
Cartman thing. for Bullet Man. I was telling Dakota to do his imitation.
Remember,
Remember Bullet Man? I remember.
I remember too, 'cause damn arm broke off.
hey, remember two arms? Oh, I remember two arms.
Oh, I remember. I had 2 arms. I remember.
Screw you guys. I'm taking my ball and going home.
All right.
Oh. I'm trying not to. Ratchet. Yeah.
I feel like Chris, one of the people, everyone starts laughing, he'll just start laughing.
I went with Ratchet just because, why not? I had Ironhide and I broke him within 5 minutes. Like the flaps on the back kind of snapped off because that's me.
That's what you get for buying KOs, Chris.
Actually, I thought, in all honesty now, I thought I bought a KO and then I realized, I was like, oh, I don't really care because it's a KO. And then I looked on my eBay, I was like, holy shit, I paid 60 quid. It's the actual one. So yeah, I wasn't happy. But then, like, the force I had to, like, close the flap in, it was just, there was no way around it. I tried oiling it and then, like, wiggling it, and then, the first one came off because I had a stress mark. And so yeah, 2 toys broken in the same list. There you go.
But aren't you kind of notorious for breaking your toys all the time anyway?
Dude,
That's
I was so nervous
maybe
around him at BotCon.
Yeah.
Chris, he walks over to your desk and starts picking up your toys. You're like, all right, I remember in 2015, like, you told me about 15 toys you had broken. Like, just
Dude, like he goes straight in for the 06 Megatron that I bought, and I was like, you're gonna need to hold a security deposit.
But yeah, I still have all those figures as well, and they're still standing. I mean, okay, like Starscream basically from the M-John line, like obliterated into a million pieces.
He's
but
just standing on his knee nubs, isn't he?
Well, he's kind of like resting on Scorponok and Hotshot's shoulder, just like keeping him up in the air. Otherwise, he's gone. And then his Unicron, like his ratchets and his legs went. And then you've got, yeah, the list goes on. It's a very long thing.
Jeez, Chris.
So, I was ruthless back then.
Yeah, no kidding. For me, there's my number 12. That's the 2007 BotCon Springer. He made it in on the last day of the year. The mail delivered him to me on New Year's Eve. And it's a Springer, and he's huge, and he's bulky. And I got him for a really good price. So cheap, and it's a wrecker character, and, you know, it's Springer, so I had to have it. So there's that really, really fun figure. This is one where the gimmick, in my opinion, doesn't kill it, and it's got all the right articulation that it needs. So there's mine.
I've never even seen that thing before.
See, I think for me, I'm gonna have to go with the subscription service Bludgeon as my number 12.
Breaking up the set.
Just the fact that we're finally getting a new representation of the Robot that's not a movie toy, and I really enjoy it. Just everything about it. Whole knee issue. So.
All right, number 12. I really, we've said it multiple times on both shows. I really like the what they're doing with the Titans Return, and I think this one's probably still my favorite figure so far, and it's Takara Legends Blur. And
nice.
The stuff that they're doing with the paint on some of these to show like that animated love is phenomenal, and this one is that one. So if you haven't checked out the Takara Legends Titans stuff, it's worth a look.
All right, so we got two blurs on there. I was trying to make another Transformer in here, but I've got one more. The rest are different stuff. But for my, what is this, 12, I went with the Play Arts Kai, Arkham Knight, Batgirl, as well as Rick. We are big Batgirl fans, and it's not perfect, so that's why it's at 12. But just a lot of really cool stuff about it. The paint, the articulation. I like the height on it, the weapons, and just really cool figure. It's Batgirl, so I think it was more of a character, made her make this list type thing.
All right. Number 11 for me would be Botcon Flash Century, translucent reflectors, basically what it is, but they called them Flash Century. This was able to be purchased if you were the golden ticket. So there's only like 100, and I think the club said
A total of 150 produced, but only 110 made available to golden ticket.
There you go. And this one actually was not a golden ticket one. This one here was, I purchased this from one of the club employees.
Hashtag connections.
Connections to sexy women. But anyways, this is apparently each employee was given one of these as well as part of their contribution for that year. So I actually was able to get him extremely reasonably cheap. So very good figure.
I thought you were gonna say drunk.
The person I got it from, it wouldn't have taken much to get her drunk.
All right, cool.
Fair enough. My next one on my list is just Ironhide, just purely because there's not so much. But with me, my Ironhide, if you used to say who's my definitive Ironhide, I prefer the War for Cyber Ironhide because he's more and the Bayverse one, and I'm gonna say that I don't care. He's big and mean and brawn versus him. It's just, not really. But yeah, it's just another Botcon memory, and a lot of the ones that are coming on my list, a lot of them are Botcon memories, just because, as I said.
All
right. This is number 11, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lyle Kaiser, man, I was super excited whenever we saw just a small half shot of him on a box at BotCon, and we had seen artwork leading up to it, but it was still kind of hush hush as to whether or not it was going to be released. And then sure enough, it got released. It was an Entertainment Earth exclusive, which is all well and good. Appreciate it, Mike.
Yep.
Anyways, I was just super excited. Now, the individual robots, meh on that guy, but altogether, man, Lyle Kaiser is just a sick purchase, man. He looks really good. So he was definitely an insta buy.
Oh, little quick side note. I believe Entertainment Earth is kind of teased that they're going to be doing a Death Cobra. So.
Oh, really?
So little nugget. It's not been officially announced, but little nugget out there.
As for me, I'm going to have to say number 11 is the BotCon attendee freebie Pterosaur. Really, really awesome choice. The mold fits him perfectly. And just absolutely beautiful paint job. So that's my number 11.
And number 11, going back to the Four Horsemen once more, the Filmation Skeletor. And this is another one where from cartoon to final toy, man, that face, when you look at him on the shelf, you can hear him talking. He's really well done.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, remember Skeletor? I mean that.
All right, so number 11 for me, I went with the Marvel Legends Jim Lee style Wolverine. I had Wolverine as a kid, the Toy Biz version, and whenever I saw this, I was like, this X-Men line is what's getting me to buy those Marvel Legends. And I've gradually started to buy some Spider-Mans, and I plan on getting all the X-Men ones. But him and another one that I know you can already see got me into this. And I just to finally have this look with, that's not some kind of weird movie one or anything. Just that Jim Lee design that hit the spot for me.
Yeah, that's a nice figure.
All right. Number 10, same as number 11, but just the full colored version. Reflector, which was a 3-pack at BotCon this year. Which, to my understanding, from what I understood, was that we were supposed to get a retail version of this, and they decided to change the Shockwave at the last minute. But this one here, the color scheme on it's really good. It fit in great. There is a gimmick to merge all 3 together as a camera. It's a fan made, I believe, but that's why it's number 10.
My next one on my list. Again, like the next couple are just going to be BotCon memories. I say just, but they're not. The Thundercracker, the Hasbro version. Basically, I could have got the Takara one, but I don't know. It's just something about the Hasbro one. Same as spoilers. The Starscream I got is just there's something about Hasbro I just prefer, and it's not broken yet. So that's a plus for Hasbro and for me. So they're doing something right.
Oh shit, it's me, isn't it?
Selfish.
Oh my god. I was trying to squeeze in a couple of bites.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this train moving.
I know. Number 10 for me, dude. Freaking Thunder Mayhem. Being a big Wreckers fan, I don't have a whole lot of, figures on the shelf that the Wreckers, have squared up against. So to get, the Mayhem Attack Squad and all these just very obscure characters, and then just the combined form, I think they did a fantastic job on that head sculpt. Very, very nicely done. And I think everything went together super well on this. So,
did you put a Matrix on there?
Do what? Oh yeah, that's the Matrix that came with that guy, Windsweeper.
Nice.
So, and anyways, I put a little chain on it so he could, hang around his neck. So
Nice.
Appreciate you watching my reviews, Chris. So
I just assume he's watching it.
So yeah, I mean, but just from like all the weapons, the swords and the cannons, man, I just thought all the mold choices were spot on, and it's just a solid combiner. I really, really do like it. It did, Bludgeon did need some TLC, like Dalton had said, but I mean, he's definitely number 10 worthy. So he's my number 10.
As for me, I'm going to have to go with the Titan's Return Hardhead as my number 10. Just really awesome favorite molds in the Titan's Return line so far. But yeah, that's pretty well done.
He's solid.
All right, so I feel like amongst ourselves, amongst the guys, we've said that this year was kind of phenomenal for toys. So I think just cracking the top 10 is like you got to be pretty amazing. And I do a lot of 1/6 stuff. I don't know how many I picked up this year, but quite a few. This is the only 1/6 Hot Toys that made the list. It is the Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman, and it's an amazing likeness, but also like I've had a lot of fun posing this thing. It's a lot more posable than I thought it would be. I knew they were taking a little bit more time. I know this thing, they hit it a few different times to get it right, and it came out really nice. So
that's the second release where they, right? Because the first one they didn't get it right.
no, this is the only release of this. That Batman, but they took some feedback and stuff about the body and the materials and stuff. Yeah, it's really not. Even if you didn't enjoy the movie, maybe you like the Batman. It's totally worth picking up if you're into like Batman collectibles.
All right, real quick here. Bill says 12 is SH Figure Arts Skyward Sword Link. Number 11, Masterpiece Harambe. Number 10 is TRU Masterpiece Starscream, and number 9, man, you're getting ahead of us, man. NECA Ultimate T800. So, All right, number 10, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, because like I said in my review, that I thought that as far as Thundercats go, I thought that Jackalman was so detailed, and I thought Jackalman was the paint apps, the way they did the fur and the shoulder pad, his weapons, I thought everything was superior to Lino, but it came down to where I basically selected to where it influence was 70%. Would I rather have a Lino on my shelf or a Jackalman on my shelf? And I would rather have a Lino on my shelf, even though I think quality-wise and sculpt and detail, I thought that the Jackalman was better. But still, this Lino is incredible, especially if you put him next to what was it, the Bandai ones that came out, the classics a while back. I mean, just the sculpt it's still really good. So I don't want to get it, you confused or anything. And paint apps and everything is really good on him. So I love Thundercats. I put Lino at number 10.
All right, number 9, and this here is older, but I picked it up this year. This is actually, I got this at Walt Disney World when we went on vacation this year. It is Zurg from.
Oh wow!
And me and my daughter went through this ride probably 3 or 4 times. And every time we'd go through the store inside the ride, I would see it, and I just go by and I push the button on like 4 or 5 of them, and watch them all make the noise and everything. And when it was all said and done, I ended up picking up like 4. I ended up picking up 4 of the characters, but that one was, even though he didn't have like a huge part in none of the movies whatsoever, he was actually one of my favorite characters besides Buzz Lightyear. So I threw him in there just for shits and giggles.
I think it's funny how you said that you went into the store and like you saw like 4 or 5 of them, so you just push them all their butts. I imagine you as like you're in the elevator with your kids, but you're the one that like pushes all the buttons. Just your kids looking up at you like, really, Dad?
That's how you do it.
Fair enough. My next one on my list, again, I'm just flying through it. Just Starscream. It's reason why I got him, and I'm not including this one just because that's not really camera worthy. It's kind of embarrassing to have, but I don't care. I might move it. But yeah, it's that's on there for another BotCon memory. I mean, a lot of them BotCon memories because I bought a crap ton from BotCon because I didn't want to come back light-handed. But yeah, I got him just because it's like, right, okay, I've never had any. Well, yeah, you can't really see it, but all my Autobot was like yay big, and my Decepticon was like yay big. So I thought, right, get 3 Seekers, and just to give it something. Because all I had was Soundwave and Quakewave, which is fans' toys, still standing. And yeah, so that's basically it. Hasbro.
All
right. My number 9 is Masterpiece Hot Rod, the MP28, the more recent one. And a lot of reason for this making it into the top 10 is, I had the old Masterpiece, the Hasbro Masterpiece Rodimus, and it was too tall, too big for my 3H records display. But this guy sized up perfect. And also being able to meet Judd Nelson this year, or last year, I guess. And I got him to sign my second MP28, which was really cool. So, that's kind of like one of my BotCon memories as well. But I thought this was a great representation of just Hot Rod and not, Rodimus Prime and trying to shove 2 figures into one or whatever. So that's why he made the spot so high.
Card mode looks great too.
Oh yeah.
I remember when me and Dalton was in the elevator in BotCon, we was just going up, and I just thought like there was just some like dirty like hippie kind of stood next to me, and then Dalton was like, "Holy shit, that's Judd!" I was like, "What? He's like, that's Judd!" And I looked, I was like, "Oh, hey, Judd!" And yeah, it was awkward. I'm glad I didn't say anything out loud. Like, shit, this guy, my God, he's cramping our style, man. Oh wait.
Glad there were only 5 floors. So.
Yeah.
What is like? We're all going to the 30th floor. Long, awkward silence.
Long, awkward ride.
Yeah.
As far as my number 9 goes, I'm going to have to give it to the Transformers subscription service, Spinister. Absolutely love the colors on this guy, and fits him perfectly. So
That's beautiful.
very, very well done.
I kind of hope that Hasbro, gives us those steel with the Titans returns. Need those.
Past him.
Yeah.
Number 9, for me, this one, I do a lot of the 6-inch figures, but not many of the 6-inch figures. They were just outside my top 16. And this one easily because the paint's awesome, but also the characters. Definitely one of my favorite characters, and that is the Ahsoka from the Black series. I thought they did a really good job. Every time Hasbro touches the Rebels, they seem to really get it right. So good on them.
It's another good selection, Rick. It's like almost like we put our list together, and we were like, well, let's put them at different different locations and stuff. So, let's see. Number 9 we're on. I'm coming back around to meeting some of Rick's stuff. Masters of the Universe Classics Filmation He-Man just looks like he stepped out of the cartoon. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad to hear that Super 7 said that, not only are we going to do the Ultimate, but we're going to continue this Filmation line for you guys. And I'm just like, yes. That makes me so happy. So just need to get those Thundercats. And what's the update on that Snake Mountain? I didn't see anything about that in the email. So just saying.
Yep.
Bill said number 8 for him is Marvel Select Venom. Jonathan McKnight says this year he picked up the Platinum Edition Blaster and Perceptor as well as the Insecticons Platinum Edition, so those were big for him.
Oh, my turn.
Some of those G1s.
All right, number 8. We're going to G.I. Joe. This is this year's offerings from the club, from Hasbro. This is part of the 3-pack that came with the Saw Viper and the female Trooper. This was the next version of the Bat they did. I'm just the Bats were always my favorite. I mean, you really can't go wrong with the Bats. They do so many different versions of them all the time. I actually picked up 4 of these, I think. Bats are always good to have extras of, easy troop builders if you're in a troop building. So, yeah, the Bats was on my list this year, and glad we got it.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah, me. My next one on my list, it's kind of a combination of stuff. But it's him, and I can't even remember what the kit was. What was it? It was X or Fisher Toys, or whatever it is, like the bigger shoulders and stuff, which actually in person, it looks way better. And for everyone who says it doesn't, then shame on you. But yeah, I got him. And it was the whole hype of like the combiners and things like that was coming out, and it was like another Titan, not Titan. And yeah, I was happy with it. It takes up a lot of shelf space, but it all works. This kind of did break, but this is, I suppose, is my fault. It isn't my fault.
Stop the fucking presses.
But there's like a tab there, and it was when I got the upgrade kit, I was just like messing about with it. I was like, right, okay, la la la. And it's been a long time since I combined it, and I was like, why the fuck isn't this working? So anyway, I'm going through, and then when I put it all back together, it's like, that's a bit floppy. What's going on? So I watched the review, and like, is there something missing? Hang on, there's a tab missing off it, and then like I shake him, and then something falls out. So I was like, oh, so that's supposed to go in there then. So yeah, that is the story of how he is together. But then if I take that plate off, then he goes over there and he goes over there. So that
what he's not telling you is he was lifting weights the entire time he was playing with it. So
love how Chris. I just picture him to where he's like, yeah. So I'm sitting there trying to transform it. And that's not working. I just picture him like every session he gets done. That's not working, but we're gonna make it work. I feel like that should move over there.
It's a lot of my stuff that, like, Dalton's seen me God knows how many times on Skype, and I used to scare the shit out of him. I do drop tests from, like, 10, 11
Drop
feet.
test?
Yeah, I drop test everything. That's me. It's like, if
drop test.
No wonder your shit's broken.
if you don't
clarity now.
Right, so this is, like, more in-depth, so people don't think I'm still batshit insane, but this isn't the point. But I do a drop test because if it survives, and I know it's a good figure, every single one from 11 feet, so even including like the newest Fort Max, like I'd never done it with G1 because I don't want to hole my floor. But with like all my masterpiece figures and things like that, everything survived. The only one that never survived was the Bavis Devastator, which I had to buy a second one because he just obliterated. It was just poof, gone. But yeah, almost all of them survived.
Little side note, a lot of people don't know about is before Transformers, Chris used to collect porcelain dolls, and they were all crappy because they never survived the drop test. So he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to Transformers." So
Yeah,
Jesus.
it was a wise move.
I didn't know about this drop test thing. I'm surprised Dakota let you anywhere near his figure.
like I'm over here just like every day is a blessing right now, you know?
Yeah.
I think I showed Dalton like the first time he was with MP10, and I did it like he was like, "Oh my god, don't!" I was like, "Look, I'm telling you, this thing is built like a tank," and I did it like 4 or 5 times from like 10 feet, and he was perfectly fine.
10 feet, Chris?
You know what?
10 feet ceiling, yeah.
You are like the person who would throw the baby in the air and say, "Screw it, let it hit the ground, make sure to see if
Like
it was okay."
just make it prove that it's survival of the fittest or whatever.
Oh my god!
Thing is, I would try and outstage what Michael Jackson did. Like, no, this is how you do it. You let go
Oh
of it.
shit! Oh my god!
Kari is making a request for Dakota. You should do a Randy drop test.
Oh, so I only have the one Randy, so I'll have to find another one that's sealed that isn't gonna run me like $50.
Rick should do a is it Kill Bison drop test?
Yeah.
Do a kill Bison and do a
There's some
Like
pretty
Sarah.
bad ones.
drop test.
All right, you do a Kill Bison drop test. I do a Randy drop test. Whoever doesn't shatter the most wins the best toy line awards for Transformers. So Beast Wars will definitely win over G1. Just saying.
Okay.
My number. What are we on? Number 8.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be Predicus, and the reason for this is, as everyone should know, the BotCon 2006 box set was probably like my favorite of all the sets. And so to have one, and that was all of the Season 1 Maximals. So to kind of get a set that was all Predacons, and then they also combined, was really, really cool. And I love just the combined mode. The colors on him look great. And then even the head, which again looks fantastic. Nice paint apps throughout the chest. Look really, really good. So that's my number 8.
All right.
As for my number 8, I would have, pretty much done the same thing, but I got them all split up, and I'm going by individual release, so I'm going to have to go with Tarantulas as my number 8. Just, again, the deco, and they did everything with it, along with the homage to the Season 2 transmittal form. Just, it really impresses me.
I like what you do. Break them up individually. Show them respect for their individual selves instead of grouping them all together.
Oh
Well, then you're going to go with my next one.
No, you can group them together. Look, hey, if you want to have 40 figures in your top 16, that's fine. I don't have 16 figures. So, what's up, Rick?
All right, number 8, the only other Titans return left in the list. If you were selling somebody on why they should pick up the line or start the line, this is the figure that I think I would go with. And that is the Blaster. I think that they did a terrific job with this figure. I'm not the hugest Blaster fan, but the fact that he turns into a radio, and he's also like a really good Blaster, easily my favorite Blaster, a third-party, Hasbro, anything. This figure is really well done.
All right, let's try to speed along here. Number 8 for me, I went with the Hot Toys Kylo Ren. It's the best representation of a Kylo Ren, and happen to like the character a bit, so went ahead and put him on this list. Very nice figure.
Yeah, he is a great figure.
All right. Number 7, I went with BotCon 2016 Tigertron, which was one of the in the 2-pack this year. Or last year, actually. Very good choice on the vehicle mode. The only downfall was the flat head on the back. But yeah, a solid figure, in my opinion. We actually got a car back in 06 with that BotCon set with a freebie figure, but this one here was pretty good besides the flat head on the back. Okay, next. Roll on.
My next one is Planet X's Vulcan, and mainly it's just purely because now I have all of them, all like the entire War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron line up to date, apart from the unofficials, which you're talking about, Planet X's other Dinobots. I've got Swoop, I just haven't got the other ones, but yeah, I've got the full cast and the full line, and I like him because he's super sharp, and he actually drew my blood, and I never cleaned the blade because I thought, can you actually see that on it? No, not really. But I thought it was cool, so I'm leaving it on there. So, yeah. There you go. Health and safety.
Jesus, Chris.
Speaking
Of drawing blood, figure number 7 is Mastermind Creations Spartan. Now, this was a 2015 release, but I didn't get it until this year, and I'm super happy that I did. I can't believe that I waited so long to pick him up. Just perfect IDW impactor. We talked about this on the Cybercast tonight, and I'm all about that IDW style. Yes, I mean that's pretty much it. Just a very solid figure all around, and it's impactor, so you can't go wrong there.
My number 8 is going to have to go to the Takara Legends Fort Max.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, at least he's higher up there than all these other guys. So
That's number 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
so
that's your 7. Okay.
yeah, just everything about it looks really good. But easy to look past with everything else that they've done with it. Really, really impressed.
You getting the upgrades, perfect effects and stuff?
Not yet. I'm waiting on the DNA, hip guns, feet, and then the Dr. Heisenberg weapons.
All right, number 7. If you follow me on Twitter, you see me talk about this Make Toys Cross Dimensions line, and there's only 2 of them out so far. The first one to come out was Striker Manus, and I think he's just a really cool version of Prime, but not quite what we're used to. The design aesthetic of the bot and the truck mode is just really cool. They made a lot of cool decisions. The engineering is coming from Make Toys, so anybody that's put hands on Make Toys, the engineering is phenomenal. Bot mode is it's a great bot mode, but it's much more like an action figure. I really like what they're doing. Again, there's only 2 of them out so far, but I like this one just slightly more than the Rioter Despotron.
All right. So number 7 for me, I'm doing one that Rick's already done, and that's Masters of the or not Masters of the Universe, Thundercats Classics, the Mumra. This was the subscription freebie, and they pretty much nailed it. The sculpt on that face looks awesome. The paint, staff, everything looks great on this figure, and it comes with the 2 different capes. Just they nailed it with this one. This is a really good one. So.
And that turned out way better than even I thought it was going to. And I didn't even pick up the line or anything like that, but very solid.
One other thing, since we both had that one, this is a good point. You know, a lot of times they do a He-Man or like a Skeletor, and they're reusing that male buck, right? They can't reuse this for hardly anything, if anything at all. So the fact that they gave us that in the first place, amazing.
Yeah, and it's the exclusive, which limited subscription only is the only way to get it. So,
yep,
really cool. Bill said our number 6 for him, DX9 Mitron.
My turn.
Yes, sir.
All right, number 6, GI Joe's Tombstone. Again, this is one of the figures that was offered from Hasbro in their offerings, which is very little to none we get. Originally at JoeCon, he was slated to have 2 color dies, and then after it came out, he ended up having he was missing an eye and he had scars around it, so they had changed it after the fact what they had showed us. He is a new character, never been seen before. He's supposed to be like the equal to Duke, is what they're considering him as, and he's one of the only unmasked Cobra higher ups. So he was a really good figure. They gave us a little bit of a backstory on him, not a whole lot. I think the club finished up the backstory on him, but very good figure that we got from them on that one.
Good pick. I like that figure a lot.
Good.
My next one is Magnus, just because I think out of like probably my all-time favorite figures, I've always been very undecided. I've always been like a Grimlock, Prime, and Magnus person, but if I was like truly decide, it'd probably be Magnus. And like from the rest of the picks now, we're basically going into like more characters, and I think he's out of all the characters I've ever met. Okay, brain damage. Of all the characters I've ever like seen, he's like probably one of the most humble that I like. He's that guy. He's like, he should really kind of move up the ranks, and you want him to, I don't know, like tuck you in bed and make you some like crumpets and things like that. It's a really weird vibe. It's like mixed things. I don't know. It's like, like there needs to be something, but I can't explain. But yeah, it's probably latent my brain damage and things like that. But I love him. He's awesome. He is the same weight as, I would say, roughly Metroplex kind of. Sort of. No. I'm thinking of Quakewave, isn't I? But he's a very good weight. Diecast and stuff, physics, science.
So speaking of guys, I want taking me to bed and making me crumpets. That's gonna be
where my number 6 is, and this is the only non-Transformer on the list, and it's the Marvel Legends Cable. So the one from the X-Men wave, I was actually able to get my hands on, and I figured at one point they would eventually make a Cable, but he's based on his design from the Deadpool game that came out a couple of years ago, and that was just even more icing on the cake for me. I love this design. It's very Gears of War like, which is another game I like. I enjoy playing. And they even got his tattoo right there, which was really, really cool. The scar on his face, just all this, just great paint detail on him. Man, Hasbro Legends has really been going above and beyond in recent years. So, Cable definitely had to make it to the list.
As far as me, to go to the Commander Wars Lyokazer. Again, thank you, Mike, for getting this for me. Just absolutely amazing. I love the paint apps. There are problems, yes, but I'm willing to look past it just due to the fact that Hasbro actually gave us this. So, just very, very impressive.
Another one that wasn't sure Hasbro knew about that character, but
number 6. This is one of those. Now that we're getting into the nitty gritty, you might see a few masterpieces. One thing that I wasn't sure of when Shockwave came out was if I was going to be on board with the we're going even more cartoon accurate. Shockwave came out, it's pretty good. A few others came out. This one came out, and I'm down now with the smooth lines. It's Inferno, and this truly is a masterpiece. There have been a few where I feel like they could have done better. This one is phenomenal. I wouldn't change a thing about it. And he comes with enough accessories, so you can kind of do what you want with him. He's got some chrome stuff. He's got some cartoon colors, a little bit of everything. And the fact that he can make that damn ladder disappear, best trick of the year. What a cool hearing. Amazing toy.
I'm waiting on mine. Shockwave, he didn't come out this year, did he? Or 2016, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Oh, well, he might have switched.
While we're at BotCon.
Oh, well, he might have switched spots with Fort Max or somebody.
Oh, God.
I forgot about him. But I'll keep my list the way it is. Number 6 for me, another Marvel Legends, Rogue, Jim Lee design, absolutely beautiful. The face sculpt and paint on this, I know it's probably not showing up well in the camera, but the eyes, just everything looks great about this with their little, crop jacket and everything. The belt hanging off to the side because it's loose. Just everything about this was awesome, and it makes me just want, like right now, I want all the Jim Lee design, Marvel Legends X-Men. They hit the spot for me.
All right, number 5, back to BotCon. This year's freebie Terrasoul. We've never had an updated version of him, or even a real good version, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But this here, like Dalton said earlier, the head sculpt, the paint apps on it are great. The camo on the wings, the beak on the nose of the jet, and knowing that we're actually going to get a Prackle in the subscription service makes it even better. It's a great figure. Club really hit a home run on this one. I know we all give the club a lot of crap on a lot of things, but we can honestly say that 2016, that they went out with a bang on that stuff, and that's why this one's there towards the top.
My next one is on the list. This and the next one after that is a couple of BotCon stuff, and I think with this one, it's mainly it went from like knowing absolutely nothing about it, and then I saw it, I thought, oh, okay, so that looks kind of cool, and then it's like everyone started explaining like who he is. And then I had him in hand, and I was just like, right, okay, if I'm paying all this money, I want to see. Sorry, I was just seeing if like the Ratchets were still good, because I haven't picked it up literally since BotCon, surprising. So I wanted to do some background story. I wanted to see what the crack was it, and he's a pretty cool figure, and the Ratchets were pretty damn scary when I first had him, and still now. But no, I loved every minute of it, and when I bought the second one, I loved every minute of that when I sold that, in theory, but it was great. It's one of those things you can't put into words. It's one of the last, I think, ever reigning like BotCon hurrahs we'll have, unless something hopefully comes up in the future as a BotCon-ish, or maybe BotCon team. I don't know. I just want something to come back. Nostalgic.
No drop test for that one though, right?
No, don't do it.
I could do a drop test right now just
Nah.
to show.
Don't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's probably best you don't.
If you ever wanted to, I've never gone like a full 10 feet, but I've done like 7 feet, and he survived perfectly fine.
No.
You're fucking high.
Look, he was high. I tell you, he was like, fucking put me down. So I did.
So before Chris gives me and everyone else a heart attack, here's my number 5. And now this is going to differ from my top 5 video that I posted on YouTube, because that was my favorite 2016 toys. These, I think, are just the best.
Oh, robot.
Like, guess Bill has.
Dakota robot.
Am I still roboting?
Okay, go ahead.
Can you guys? Are we good? Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're back.
Okay. Anyways, it's Deadlock for just the sheer playability and the fact that it's basically Drift before he becomes Drift, and all the accessories that eHobby put with him, the sword, and all of Blair's guns was just really good. Great paint apps all around. Just a solid figure to take pictures with and to even just kind of enjoy in all of his modes. And they just did such a good job with how he appeared in the comics. So that's why I think he's probably my top 5 best toys that released this year.
For me, I'm going to have to go with the Transformers Legends Weird Wolf. It's just the way they did it, the face sculpt and the paint apps, just really impressive. The Hasbro one is still pretty good, but anyway, I'd go with the animation route. There's that.
All right, number 5 for me. Early in the year, this was probably like my top figure, but then things got really good this year. So, but it still made the number 5 spot. It is the Takara Dia Battles V2.
Nice.
If you did get a chance to play with this or just kind of get hands on with it, this is another one of those, like, if you like toys, just toys in general, not just Transformers kind of toys, this is an amazing toy. I thought the price was a little high. It might have been a little higher on the list. But anyway, it's still a great toy. It comes with that piece, but then it also comes with like this little guy too. It's got like 3 little guys inside there. But the other thing that's cool about this is like the back folds down and it's got like a little bike inside there too. And the little man can take off on his bike. I played with this a lot this year. It was a really great toy too.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude.
All right, in the chat, Bill says 5 is an oversized MP10 for NECA God of War Kratos. Let's see, 3 animated series Batwing. 2 is DX9 G-Walt, if I'm saying that right, or G-Walt. Number 1, NECA quarter scale Donatello. 30 says 5 is DX9 G-Walt, and number 4 is Gigapower Guter. So another one that Rick's already mentioned. I just, as soon as they said that they were coming out with a 6-inch Blackline series, and we saw that they were going to be mixing it up with going with not just original figures and prequels, but they're going to tackle some of these cartoon and stuff like that. First thing I thought, and Rick probably did as well, is where's my Ahsoka? And why did it take this long to get her? Her, we need Ventress comes out next year. She'll probably be in my top, then as well, because I love those 2 characters. And it looks so good. So actually I have 2. This one needs to go to Dakota to paint, make it look Ventress colors, a Sith. But oh yeah, I love Ahsoka, so I had to have her on here. So all right, guys, number 4.
All right, number 4. This is my last G.I. Joe one. That's this year's Zombies. This is the actual second release of the Zombies from Hasbro. It had more paint apps on it than the original one did, and it came in a 2-pack. So if you all troop build them, if you were lucky enough to actually find them in stores, which they are very hard, they are 1 per case. They were Toys R Us and Big Bad Toy Store exclusives. I was lucky enough to score 10 sets of these where I can troop build all of them. So,
Damn.
Yeah. So I have a lot of Zombies. You can't go wrong with Zombies, especially troop building. And Zombies period are just really, really cool. And thank you Hasbro for actually giving us another release of these instead of paying $40 for just 1 figure now. So Number 4.
My number 4 is apparently, I don't know, I've missed one out, but I can't remember what I've missed one out, but screw it. But my next one on the list, and this is where we get into like some serial stuff, is Predicus, just because I think out of, again, the whole BotCon shenanigans, this is my absolute favorite one. This is the one that I have, and it's basically started my BotCon shelf. And as I said to people in the past, like, I'm going on a BotCon mission, a very expensive mission, but it's basically an entire bookcase, and maybe, well, yeah, at this rate, it's going to be like 2 bookcases dedicated to BotCon stuff. But I really want to get into it.
To you, Chris.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Godspeed, son. But I was fine. I wasn't interested in getting this Primus package and stuff. I was like, with Josh, I was like, oh, you know, I'll just show up. I'll be fine. No, it's part of the experience. Go for it. So I'm like, okay. And now my wallet's like, fuck you, kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting experience. And I just hope that nothing comes along anytime soon, because then it's just getting both of them at the same time. So yeah, happy days.
Mine, to kind of mimic Mike, and this is the second impactor of the list.
Oh, Rook.
2 of 2.
Yeah, Rook, Rook.
And that's Rook. And that's going to be the club impactor. And man, I was really, really looking forward to this guy whenever he was announced, and then kind of getting him in the mail. And I don't really so much mind the black eyeliner. I think it makes him look kind of menacing to a degree. But just for an official impactor, you know, Hasbro made a very terrible attempt at doing their own with the Fall of Cybertron Onslaught. But the club came in and, just like a knight in shining armor, released what I think is probably going to be the best official impactor without Hasbro making a completely new mold. So, and the reason I think he's just a great toy is he came with so many accessories. He came with RCs, guns, and swords, and there's so many different possibilities. He's got weapon storage in both modes. It's just really, really cool, man. I'm very happy with this particular figure. So that's why it is my number 4.
All
right, my number 4, the last Titans Return figure on this list, and that is going to be Trigger Happy. Mainly due to the engineering of this guy. Very well done. Action just alone it's fun, it's intuitive. I've been, transforming back and forth several times since I've got him. And just a great homage to that original character.
I like him a lot.
All right, number 4. I didn't even know I needed this guy, but now that I have him, I can't wait to see the rest of them. Number 4 is Optimus Primal, Masterpiece. I absolutely love this figure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I knew Dakota would approve, but yeah, number 4, Optimus Primal.
Oh, don't do it, Ray.
He is forever top 5 worthy.
All right, so number 4 for me. I love this figure, and also it was a character thing for me as well, it just being tall, but that is going to be another Play Art Sky, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. Again, it's not going to show up very well on here, but just the face, the sculpt, the attention to detail, like even her face is kind of like dirty and stuff like that. I mean, she just looks really good. So, and all her little weapons, and you can see the 2 pickaxes and stuff like that, or knife, and holding the bow and arrow. Just everything about this is pretty awesome. It's a pretty tall figure too, so that's why I got her there.
Very nice.
right. Number 3 for me is BotCon 2016 Prometheus. This here, just like everyone else, I mean, it's something, the club gave us a whole box set of. Is a great figure. The paint apps on it were very good. Choices were really good. Even the head sculpt on this thing was extremely well thought out and designed out. The kind of like a little piranha teeth on it. Real good solid figure. I wish I had 2 or 3 more sets of them, to be honest with you. So that's my number 3.
Next one on my list. So my number 3. Yeah, Chris can still think of it. Is the next one in the Giga Powers line, which is Slag, and he's just awesome. I mean,
You doing a test?
when his right, okay, so I'll get into the bad points then, as you just saw. He can hold his gun for shit. It's way too heavy in comparison. Just the weight of that, I'd say it's heavier than MP10. Just the sword, and that says something. But I mean, in like Dino mode, you can use that as like a flame breath as well, which is really cool. There's all lights and stuff like that. There's like super sharp stuff on it, but again, like the weight of him, there's so much diecast and like so many ratchets is unbelievable. But there's just not another. I know for a fact we're never going to get like Hasbro or Takara accuracy as such as this, and this is just amazing. I mean, I generally can't believe how well it came out. There's so many different possibilities with like the head swaps and things like that. Again, with like the ratchets, I mean, considering how heavy he is, I mean, only just like his ratchets are able to kind of give out. But yeah, if like anyone ever has a chance to go through it, just give Giga Power a chance. I know like they were a bit slow. They're now like speeding up. I think they finished off the line. Thank God. This year. But I'd say out of all my masterpiece figures, originally it was Gutter. Because I thought he was awesome, but I think now, yeah, Slag's my favorite one. Just because it's the name Slag as well, which is a British thing. But we have a lot of them over here, and they're useful when they want it. So
That means a hoe.
yeah,
And it's Giga Power, so you got to help design them too. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. My number 3 is going to be Convo Bat, the eHobby exclusive. And the reason he's at number 3 is I remember whenever we just kind of learned of the Titans Return stuff, and then we saw Mind Wipe, and you could see how all the heads could switch around. I was like, oh man, Bat, Optimus Primal, and Alligator Megatron. And this single release was able to get you to achieve both because of the strong accessory game that eHobby has. The Megatron head colored up to match that of Skull Cruncher was really good. You could take that boring ass Skull Cruncher and make it into an awesome Beast Wars Megatron. So for it to have so much playability and for you to essentially get those 2 figures in a more kind of upscaled and better designed sort of way, man, Convoy Bat definitely did it. He comes with these awesome swords. And everything fits, so it's really, really cool.
For my number 3, a lot of people are probably going to be surprised by this, but it's going to be the Masterpiece Ironhide. Absolutely love the way he looks. Very cartoon accurate. Everyone's got to complain about the hip skirts and everything, but it's easy enough to look past. Just when you look at all the accessories it comes with, the straight up nod to the cartoon, and in via from the toy with the weird little face on the front of the van. Very happy with it.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. I've been playing with toy cars since I was like 3 or 4. This is easily my favorite toy car of all time, and that is the new MP God. Definitely one of my favorite movies too. So, and honestly, it's one of the only Transformers on my shelf that I keep in car mode. Fantastic. Love it.
all right, number 3 on my list, the one that Rick had on his, but went with the Masters of the Universe Classics Filmation Skeletor. I don't think I can say anything else good about it that Rick hasn't already mentioned. Just if you look at that face, looks like it just jumped right out of the cartoon. Everything about it, the staff, everything. I love the way that this thing looks. So
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah.
Please, I see that it just pops in my head. All right, number 2, and I'm doing this one justice because I couldn't believe y'all did so low. I'm not going to hold it up, but you can see my Fort Max back there on the wall, which is the San Diego one. And here, I like this one because it doesn't have the face plate on the headmaster. I like it because of the actual mouth opening. The color scheme, the sword that came with it was good. Very easily, in my opinion, one of the top toys from Hasbro this year. So, glad I was able to get that one in the Hasbro version. So I have both those versions as well. So, but the San Diego one I thought was better than Hasbro.
My one, just because I didn't exactly intend on it being on my list, but I feel kind of bad I left him out. But I think he does deserve a spot on my number 2. Before I get into the nitpick about it, which is everything with diecast, is the Legacy Megazord. Now, this is what kind of got me back into collecting Megazords again, and from Mighty Megazord all the way up until Wild Force, I had every single Megazord. And through time, I gave it away to like if it was like a charity shop and things like that, or like my cousins, like younger cousins. I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying them because they're just left in the attic, so I might as well give them to people who enjoy them. Then I went back into it and I started liking them. It's like, oh shit, have you still got them? So yeah, it was like my cousin Joshua. I went around his house. I was like, yeah, you remember those things I gave to you like years ago? He was like, oh, those old toys. Like, you still got them? Yeah, they're in the attic. Sweet. So I got quite a few of them back. But I've got a hell of a long way to go. But I got this just because it was everything for what the original should be or should have been. Still to this day, it amazes me on how they can make Megazords and still not have the ability to have any articulation from the knee. It's like, really? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know for anything under, I think it's 4 or 5 points of articulation, it's classed as a statue, is it not? Roughly, something like that.
Or a McFarlane's toy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, check out McFarlane for that one.
It's like, now this is a more articulated version. So we have shoulders, which that counts as 2. Okay, knees, rotation, so I suppose you can class that as 4. That's it. That's all you get. He can move. He can do the chunga, I don't know. But yeah, and I suppose it's also with like all diecast stuff. Like when you haven't touched it in a while, it's like it's weird stuff on it. It's I don't know where it is. I don't know. As I said, I don't know what it is. It really is weird. I first saw it on like Quake Wave, and it makes it like the metal look funky, and you try and rub it off, and it's not rubbing.
Oh, he's ashy.
Probably lube.
He's ashy. You need to put some lotion on him.
He's
So, I'm gonna cheat and say like and that got me into it as well. But yeah, I went into this and thought it was awesome, and then some arsehole on the internet decided, oh yeah, let's make like a super ultimate version of this, which is like $600 or something. I don't know. I mean, he's gonna get burned, so I don't really care. But yeah, that's number 2.
All right. Bet you're looking forward to that new Power Ranger one we looked at earlier.
Yeah.
Drop that off the shelf.
Oh, I'll be dropping that through the front. No, it's disgusting.
All right, number 2 for me is this year's BotCon Megatron. This chalks up to just I never thought it would ever see the light of day. I'd known it was kind of on their list, as were many other things that they wanted to do, and the fact that they were able to push this one out for people who had been waiting on it for well over a decade was just very cool, and they definitely did it justice. Gold chrome and a fantastic head sculpt, which you can't really see too well because of all the shadows and whatnot. But you can see I put the Predacon sticker there that came with the sticker sheet that they were selling. But just solid release, man. You cannot go wrong with a Beast Wars Megatron. And I think they definitely went out with a bang doing this. So, and he's got, 9 different alt modes. So the playability is 100% there. And it's just, for such an old toy, it still holds up well, and these colors really do make it pop.
As for me, my number 2 has to go to the Masterpiece Shockwave. Very, very well done. The transformation is simple. It's fun. The gun mode really works, or should I say the submarine mode. And then the inclusion of the electronics as well as all the other accessories just really stands out to me. And the colors alone, I love that shade of purple. So
You getting ahead, add-on?
I haven't even heard about it. So
DNA, is it? I think it's like DNA or someone, or Shadowfish or one of them. They're making a cartoon accurate head, and he has like the lights and stuff like that. Same principle as Warrior Quickwave. It's like a button, and you flip it, and it does stuff. So it's cool.
All right, number 2. I've got to say this before we end this cast. Fun Publications came along, and they took something that I love, Transformers, and they made it better. Some of the best toys in my collection, Fun Pub gave to us. They took molds that existed and made them better. This guy, whom you guys have already shown love, BotCon Megatron, one of the best figures they ever did. And that's what they do. They take shit and they make it better. So even though BotCon is come and gone, this right here, these figures that we all have shown love tonight, these things are going to live in our collections for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic figure. A good send-off, as one of you guys already said.
All right, and 30 says number 2 for them is DX9 Mitron, and number 1 is Bandai Solo Chogokin Voltron. For me, number 2, again, I forgot Shockwave came out this year. Otherwise, he would have made somewhere on the list. But still, this guy would have ended up being number 2 just because of the fact that I think going from that van and having the G1, and you see that, and that they just could not figure out for the life of them how they were going to turn that van into a robot. And that was probably one of the ugliest G1 Transformers ever made, to where Takara was able to say, you know what, we're going to take that van, but we're going to not only make it look like a good robot and not that crappy looking thing that you got in G1, but also make it look like it stepped out of the cartoon. I think they nailed it with him. And then plus they give you all those accessories and still came with the little sled thing as well. I think they knocked it out of the park with this guy as far as playability, accuracy. The transformation is fun. Just everything about him. I really liked this figure. So there was only one, I guess kind of already spoiler, but masterpiece Transformer that I made my list, and I think a couple have made y'all's list. But for me, he was definitely the one that deserved the spot.
There can only be one.
All right, so we are closing. This is the number 1 spot. This is if you only had one figure in your collection that you bought in 2016, which one would it be? Let's see where we go.
All right, mine, 3 other guys have shown theirs, and this was my number 1, which was Beast Wars Megatron from BotCon this year. I mean, you just, like we've all said, you waited 10 years for it, didn't think it was ever going to happen. The head sculpt was great, and to have David K there that year, to see it off, was great. It does have multiple transformations. I have actually not transformed it once since I picked it up. I did
It came
one
in robot mode. It was just perfect.
right. Left it where it was at. I didn't want. Well, we had talked about how the hips. You had taken yours apart, I think, Dakota, and you had said something about the hips being like rubbing or something.
Right.
And because you telling me that, I never transformed it. I left it.
I also posted a fix-it video. Appreciate you for watching my shit, Mike.
Yeah, I did. I don't see. Unlike everyone else, I don't take shit apart because I did that as a child, and then I screwed it up and I couldn't put it back together. Even though I'm almost 40, I probably wouldn't be able to fix it. So I just don't do it. I just don't take stuff apart. you deal with it. But I mean, like we've all said, the club went on, out with a bang, and this here was a great figure, and it was my number one figure of all for 2016. Come on, drop it, Parrot. Barrett, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm by here. Yeah, I didn't realize my mic was mute there.
Show us which one you want to drop off the shelf next.
But this one, it's just because, before I go into introduction, there's a story of Robot Kingdom, and I ordered something, and as everyone knows that basically, but they was like, right, okay. First, it was back in last March that it first came up in pre-order. I only had this about 2-3 weeks ago. So bear that in mind. It was due the first quarter of last year or second, and it kept changing. So it got to the point where I was so fed up. I was like, right, okay, where am I going to get it? I want a refund, and they're like, oh, and they gave me all the excuses. I said, it says payment stuck on pending and whatever, right up until basically it was shipped. It's like, right, okay, all sorts. I was like, wait, aren't you going to charge me for it? And they said, oh, you would have been charged as soon as you click, and I'm looking at my bank. I've told Dalton this and told everyone. It's like my money still to this day, because I'm shit scared they're going to charge me for it. They still haven't charged me. Boom. I had this. I shit you not. I had it for free. They have still not charged me. The money is still, because I have loads of different things. Like I play, for the last 6 months, I play semi-professional paintball as well. So I have in my bank account, I have all these separate things, and one of them is a Transformers one, and the exact amount, it's 340 quid it works out. That's including shipping and things like that, a little bit extra in case I get some custom charge. This is the best. It's the version 2. It's the reissue. The ratchets on it are amazing. Nothing is floppy. I mean, I'm shaking to death, and he's not moving, and he can hold everything up. I mean, he's awesome. I love it, and it's I would have appreciated if it was in scale, but I understand we live in a realistic world, and I can't fit it inside my house if that was the case. But yeah, I'm absolutely at all. This is probably one of the best figures I ever own, and I don't really want to get a Trypticon because it's not going to be as big. But then it's the same thing with why I put off with this for so long. It's I didn't want to get him because that sticker's peeling off. Holy shit. Reaper labels.
Probably from fucking dropping it, Chris.
Maybe. No, I haven't dropped this. You're having a laugh. There's some things that are just not meant to be dropped, and this is one of them, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm not.
Know there was a line somewhere.
But no, it's. I want to get a Trypticon. I know he's not going to be. He's only an inch bigger than him. Where it works out, if you're counting them. But yeah, I mean, holy shit balls! It's such a good figure, amazing figure.
Hey, Chris, don't let anyone tell you an inch doesn't go a long way, because it most certainly does. Okay.
Giggity. Oh yes, it does.
You should get the Trypticon since you got that one for free. Hopefully, no one at Robot Kingdom is listening. So.
It works out. I even said to him, it's the emails, it's are you sure? You have not charged me. I said to him 4 times, you have been charged. And they sent me on the last email, said, when you click this button, full stop, you would have been charged at this point, full stop. Therefore, you have paid for this figure, full stop. Enjoy your figure, full stop. That's the last thing they said to me. I was okay.
All right, fair enough. You said it, not me.
So they can't charge you from that point.
All right. So my number one figure should not be a surprise since we got Megatron out of the way.
That Lego Batmobile.
It's definitely the Lego Batman Batmobile that I picked up today. No, man, it is Optimus Primal Masterpiece, the masterpiece Optimus Primal, the best masterpiece to ever come out in the line's history. You got a ton of accessories, different faces for the gorilla, for the robot mode, the electronics, which I mean. He's only been out for a couple of months. As you can see, I've played with this thing so much. I got to replace the batteries already. You see, I got the mace as well, which I just, and the swords, they were so well done. The paint on this guy is just out of this world. The transformation, he literally walked off the screen, and I didn't think you could get much better than the 10th anniversary Ultra Class. Yeah. But they most certainly proved me wrong. And the elbows are screen accurate for that one douchebag out there. Also real quick while I'm shouting out douchebags of 2016, bilingual. I don't give a shit how you pronounce it. But no. I mean, dude, this was perfection. Like as soon as I opened it up, I had 3 of them, and they were just so great, man. I'm so extremely happy to have this. I can't wait for Cheetor. Looks like he's getting pushed back just as much. So
You know, you're so excited. I'm about afraid for you to come up here in May when he shows up.
oh my god, I've got like one. I picked the
God.
most pristine box for him to sign.
I'd bring all 3 of them.
But I might. I mean, I didn't say I wouldn't.
Okay.
I've got more sealed Optimus Primal junk on the way.
I do too.
I think I'm just laughing at how Dakota, like, we haven't had him on for a couple of weeks, but then he comes on and uses Galactic Gumbo as his platform to address all the like trolls on his own channel. He's like, you know what? You were commenting on my channel, but let me tell you what. I'm getting in the last word here.
Yeah. He worked it in flawlessly too. Well done.
After we're done, you can share your elbow story afterwards. Okay, let's go ahead and get through here.
All right,
Dalton.
For me, Mike, I'm going to have to go the same route as you and say the BotCon 2016 Megatron. Everything about it, from the fact that we weren't sure if we were ever going to get this, to just how well they did the paint and the head sculpt. Just everything turned out nearly perfect, besides a little bit of the which thanks Dakota for the little fix.
no
When
problem.
he kissed his ass.
I mean, he should.
Well, at least I watched videos, so.
Dalton's trying to keep from being called out.
But also, another thing that makes this really great is if you picked up one of the little tiny rubber duckies for him. So
I do have rubber
Yeah.
ducky.
I normally keep mine wedged on the little hinge piece behind his head, so
I
it's just
just
kind of sitting
keep-
with him all the time.
just have him hold it. But yeah, that's my number 1.
Shout out to
Open
Insane
Primal, but-
Galvatron for selling those little rubber ducky iPhone like head jack stops or whatever.
Yeah. Wait, was that guy who had like a bag? I think like was it 100 or something, and he sold it
Yeah.
for like $5 each?
Selling them like drugs, yeah. It's like we gonna
Like
get that
ecstasy
rubber ducky
pills.
Molly. Oh.
All right, let's finish this thing. Rick,
All
what's
right.
your number 1, man?
Number 1, I didn't buy as much third party this year, but the best figure, in my opinion, of the year, the Carnifex.
Oh yes.
That Overlord, IDW Overlord, by MMC. This figure is fantastic. The transformation has one hiccup, and that's the shoulders, but it wasn't enough of a hiccup to keep it out of that number 1 spot. I recommend picking this up. If you haven't tried third party, try this figure.
That guy looks really good. All right, so my number 1, and one that I've been excited for. I believe this was the first hot toy that I bought. I believe because it was like I definitely need to get into this. It was the Hot Toys Batman Returns Michael Keaton Batman. This is just something that as soon as I saw it, I'm like, maybe even if I only have one action figure or toy in my collection, that this would probably be it, because I think anyone that's just a fan of cinema or anything, even if they're not into toy collecting, and if you just had this like sitting on your bookshelf or anything, like with your movies and stuff like that, that they would come in and just be like, that is impressive.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that thing. So that's why it's my number 1 spot, and probably number 1 in my collection, to be honest. So All right, so we wrapped up as far as top 16 for 2016. We got some of your guys in the chat. We named off some of yours. We've almost gone 2 hours, so we'll probably end it here soon. Now, if Dakota wants to tell you a little funny story about him and some troll or whatever in his comments, you can listen to his story. But I want to go ahead and sign everyone out real quick. That way, if anyone needs to leave or it's late for anyone. Mike, is he gone? Or
No,
Mike's here?
I'll put stuff back up.
All right. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you, man?
You all can find me on Twitter as BotconFan1978 and YouTube as Autobot City Toys. And catch me next week at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for Just Not Another G.I. Joe podcast.
All right, Chris.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Barrett Prime, which is YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, Dakota.
And you can find me everywhere at PrimalSabbath.
Lil D.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Daltonians DFs.
All right, Rick.
And you can find me on Twitter as Shatrdglassjazz.
Hey!
All right, and you can find me G1Xtron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page, the G1Xtron. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. We are going to be doing Summercast and Galactic Gumbo, not this Saturday. That's actually going to be that Mike's show that he just mentioned, but we will be the following week. So as far as I know, all the times will stay the same unless the Cowboys game is playing. So I'll have to move to change. Or Steelers. So no one else has a team playing, I guess. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end it there. We'll let you guys know what we do for the next show, but we're gonna end it. I will put here the link in the chat if you guys want to hang out and with us here. There you go. There it is in the chat. So you can just click on that and you'll be in. And Dakota's going to tell us a little story and we might just chat for a little bit. So talk to you guys later. Peace.